Welcome to my channel. I'm Rude Rossi and I make clothes from scratch. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install a zipper cover to a turtleneck. Here is the neckline. Here I'm going to be serging this line from the bottom all the way up to this section here. If you don't have a serger, you can just hem this or even zigzag stitch it. So here I'm showing you what I've done with my overlocker machine. So here's my turtleneck, and this is the right side of the fabric, as you can see my hood with the grommets in. I'm taking the top of the turtleneck and I'm folding it to the seam. I want my seams facing down. And I've put a pin in this zipper cover to represent the wrong side of the fabric. Here I'm demonstrating where the zip will start and finish from. This is my shoulder seam. This can be a little tricky to explain, so keep watching the video and hopefully you understand what I'm trying to do. So this is where the zipper cover will be sewn onto the turtleneck. So I'm just demonstrating this again for you. I'm starting at the line that I've marked. This is the place where the turtleneck meets with the shoulder seam. And this is where I want my zipper cover to stop. Now I'm lining it up with the edge of the turtleneck. You need to make sure that you are placing the right sides of the fabric together. Once I've secured that in place, I'm going to serge/overlock this section now. You can do this with a straight stitch or a zigzag stitch as well, it doesn't matter. So I've done it now and it's exactly in the place I want it to be. Now I need to do the exact same steps on the other side. So this is the other shoulder seam and you need to make a notch right there. You need to make your mark as visible as possible so that it's easier for you as you go along. Now the butterfly pin does represent the wrong side of the fabric to make sure that we're keeping the right sides of the fabric together. Now this gap in the centre of the turtleneck, usually people put another neckband support in there, but I tend to just leave it because I don't like putting in the support bands and I've never been good at it. So when we're sewing this in place, we just want to make sure that our seams are facing down. So we don't want this part of the fleece to come on top of the pattern, if that makes any sense. We want it to be the opposite way around, so that it's just seamless and it looks much better that way. So I'm just matching the seams together. So again, we don't want the seams facing up, we want them facing down. have a bit of extra fabric, but it doesn't matter. This is all going to get cut off in the end anyway. So now that I've matched everything up, I'm making a notch where I want my zipper to go now. And again on the other side. You can make another mark here if that's easier, which I found it a little bit easier. The zipper I'm using is much longer than I need it to be, so I'm just pinning the zip in place, so I'm not really concentrating on lines or anything like that. I just want to secure it, and the second part is where we need to concentrate on matching everything up. Make sure that your edges are lined up as much as you can as well, makes it easier for you. And removing the pins as you go. Now I'm just making marks where I need the other side to be matching up. Now I need to turn the garment inside out so that I can install the second part of my zip. Now I'm making sure that the lines that I made earlier match up properly. So before I sew the second part down, I need to make sure that the lines match up, and I realised that the seams are out by literally like 1 millimeter, and I wasn't happy with that, so I'm going to shift that slightly and test it again. Okay, it's perfect, and I'm ready to stitch the next part of the zip down. So while I was sewing that last little bit, I realised that the fleece came slightly past the line that I made, and I realised it's not really much of a problem because I use a 1 centimeter seam allowance and that would be fine. So if you do make a mistake, it's okay, just undo those stitches and match up your notches again and just sew it down again. This is an important step so that you don't have the zip bother you when you zip up your turtleneck. So I just fold down the zip by about 90 degrees, and you make sure that you fold the zipper outwards so that it's facing towards the raw edges. You can pin this in place, or you can just put a couple more stitches, which is what I've decided to do, just to try and secure that corner so that I don't have to keep fiddling with it later. And I did the same with the other one. try and make the seams match up as much as possible now. Just gives it a better look in the end. Now we need to sew this part again. Now we can trim off the excess zip. This is where the magic happens, so we're now gonna turn this the right side out. And there we have it, our zip is nice and tucked in there, so there is no scratchy bits. I've sewn the other side down, and now I'm going to turn this one right side out too. So that's how we install our zip into a quarter zip turtleneck design, and all the seams are matching up exactly how I want them to, and it's all done. I thought I'd show you the very last step of this, which is the top stitching. So while you're doing this, make sure that the zipper cover underneath is nice and flat and pulled away from the zip so that nothing gets caught. I use my zipper foot as a top stitch guide for this. Once I get to the top and I need to pivot my fabric, I am now using a 1 cm seam allowance. Once I get all the way around and I'm back to the other side of the zip, I use my zipper foot again to guide me with the top stitching for that. So it's all top stitched, and now we're ready to continue with the rest of the garment.